everyone, my name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. And welcome to a very chaotic, humongous, kind of all over the place book haul. I don't know what the title of this video will be, but let me tell you, it's chaotic. I haven't hauled books in months. I've read some of them are still unread. There are books all over the place. I do really want to emphasize the fact that this is like over a very long period of time, but yeah, I think I'm going to divide this up as books I've read already, and then we'll go into the special edition books I've received, and then just move on to the rest of the books. I hope that's fine with you guys, and because this is going to be a long one, I'm just going to hop on in, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's just get to hauling some books. The first stack here, books I've already read. I will not go through synopses or anything. I'll just leave my bi-monthly wrap-up up in the cards for you guys if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on any of them. The first one I have is Volume 2 of Goldie Vans, which is a kind of like Nancy Drew-esque graphic novel series. I had read the first one like 2 years ago. These were heavily discounted on Amazon, and so I bit the bullet and got this one. I also got The Maddest Obsession by Danielle Laurie. This is the second book in the Maid series. I was gifted the first for Christmas by Amélie, which you will see later, but then it kind of inspired me to get the rest of the series. That was all before I knew this author was extremely problematic. So I don't want to like showcase her too much on my channel, but I did read it. And again, I talk a little bit about the issue and my thoughts in my wrap-up. I also have The Anti-Boyfriend by Penelope Ward, which is a romance. It's neighbors to friends to lovers, and like the title, The Anti-Boyfriend, kind of reflects the mentality of the boy protagonist named Deacon. In this book, it has a lot of wonderful tropes, and yeah. Very quick synopses. We then also have the first of a few Mariana Zapata books, which is Luna and the Lie by the Queen herself. This is a slow burn romance between a main character named Luna and a man called, what do they call him? Rip, my bad. He's a wonderful man. This is a wonderful slow burn story. It's kind of like Grumpy Sunshine. Not exactly hate to love, but kind of like annoyed to friends to lovers. I would talk about this book for hours. I got this book. I also got The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, which is another book I could talk about for hours. This is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. It is, again, kind of like a Grumpy Sunshine romance between a boss and an employee. There's the billionaire trope in there as well. It's fantastic. I love this to pieces. These are actually my two favorite books of the year so far, so yes. I also got By a Thread by Lucy Score, which is another office grumpy romance. This one, not as good as the other two. Still great. Again, I love indie published romances. I love office romances. It's kind of like the same trope over and over. This one was heavily inspired by The Devil Wears Prada. You can definitely see where the inspiration comes from, so if it's a movie you really enjoy, you might like this book. And finally, we have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, which was a TikTok favorite. This is a closed-door romance between two best friends, so it's friends to lovers. I think there's fake dating in here as well. It's a cheat sheet, so the man kind of ploys to get the girl to fall in love with her. It's mutual pining, a beautiful friendship. It also kind of has like the famous aspect where the boy is a very famous football player and the girl is a ballerina, though she was injured, so she's not as popular in her work field as he is in his. Those were the highlights. Again, another book I adored. Moving on to special editions. The first one is The Fairy Loot Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco, which is freaking beautiful. Look at these pages. I just love it. There's also like an illustrated dust jacket, which I know I did a terrible job at showing you, and it's also kind of embossed, foiled on the hardback. I will not be reading this copy of the book. but I own it. Sadly, I don't have the first book that they did with Kingdom of the Wicked. Maybe one day I'll splurge and buy like a copy that people are selling at ridiculous prices, but I got this one. Then we have a regular edition of Kingdom of the Cursed, which it's the standard edition. This is the one I'm going to read and annotate. If you did not know or are new here, Carrie Maniscalco is my favorite author. The Stalking Jack the Ripper series is my favorite series of all time, all genres combined. And so I try to collect as many of her books in as many different editions I can. Sadly, I did miss out on the bookish box set for the Stalking Jack the Ripper books, but I'm not going to dwell too much on it. However, I did manage to get their special edition for Kingdom of the Cursed. It comes with like a double-sided dust jacket. It also comes with dusty rose pages, and I just love these. It also came with another dust jacket for Kingdom of the Wicked so that they can fit, and I absolutely adore Amelia and Wrath on these covers. I'm gonna die. So yes, 3 editions of Kingdom of the Cursed. Do you think it's excessive? If you do, keep that opinion to yourself, please. Thank you. Then I also have the Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Heartstopper Volume 1. I was able to get Volume 2 as well, which makes me very happy, and the second volume will be signed. I sadly could not be there fast enough to get the signed version of this first book. It has beautiful sprayed edges. It is also in hardcover, and the book itself also has Nick and Charlie. I love this graphic novel series. It's definitely a favorite. If you've never heard of Heartstopper, it's actually going to become a TV show. It's basically friends to lovers, and one of the main characters is also questioning his sexual identity because he thought he was straight, but then he falls in love, and it's a beautiful story. It has ups and downs. It does dig into deeper topics around the 3rd volume, but I adore it, and I love Alice Oseman, so very happy to have that. And then I have the Illumicrate Afterlight. That was the November box, so clearly I haven't hauled books in a very long time. I'm currently waiting on my Afterlight box for February. So, you know, this is a delayed video, but we have both Spoiler Alert and All the Feels by Olivia Dade. All the Feels was the book that released in November, and they did an add-on for Spoiler Alert so that we can have matching books. They both have sprayed edges, and both are the hardcover UK versions, and I really love them. They also have like digital signatures in the books, and yeah, I really love Afterlight and the fact that you can get like more customized romances and that it's not just fantasy books. It is a little costly to ship to Canada, but since it's once every 3 months, it's definitely justified in my opinion. So I'm gonna put them back in their little baggies, but those were really all of my special editions. I don't get a lot of them, but I'm waiting for more, so I'll like unbox them as they come, but not in this haul. Moving on to the regular books. Okay, I have 2 graphic novels that I need to haul to add to this pile. One of them is Goldie Vance Volume 3, and now that I think of it, hold on one second. I also have Volume 4. So these are the only 2 others I was planning on getting. I will not be getting Volume 5 because they changed author or illustrator, and apparently the story just really isn't as compelling. So again, these are like Nancy Drew inspired graphic novels, and yeah, I kind of like finished off my collection because I think they weren't even like $8 each, which for graphic novels is definitely a steal. And the other graphic novel I have is Lower Olympus Volume 1. This was the Hades and Persephone's retelling that took the internet by storm. This was originally a webtoon, and it will be like released in different volumes. I don't know a lot about Greek myth, but I'm very excited for this, and a lot of these I got with gift cards, this one included, so if I don't like it as much, like, I'm not so sad. It's just such a stunning book to collect, so it's home with me now. I have, I think, only one middle grade. I have my book haul cart behind the camera, so it's a little chaotic. But yeah, I think I only have one middle grade book to haul, and that is Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. I was supposed to read this for Believe-a-thon. I did not get to it. Believe-a-thon was not a good reading month. That was last November. Believe-a-thon is hosted by Gavin at How to Train Your Gavin. This is very interesting to me. It's the newest Riordan book, and it's about Harding Pencroft Academy, which is like a school for like training marine biologists, scientists, naval warriors, navigators, and underwater explorers. So it's like a school for underwater, and I think something happens and it just, like, underwater school, like, excuse me? Doesn't that sound amazing? And it's Rick Riordan, so I had purchased it to read for Believe-a-thon, but I will still read it either way. I just don't have a lot of time with school. The rest of the video won't really have any order. I'm just going to pick books off of my cart and show you the books. So, obviously, as I mentioned with Luna and the Lie, I kind of became Mariana Zapata trash. So I did get myself The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, which is the book I am currently reading. It will probably be finished in March. Fingers crossed. This one is a love story between a pro football player and who used to be his assistant. He's kind of grumpy, doesn't really acknowledge his feelings, and yeah, I'm loving it so far. I also have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I should be hauling Hook, Line, and Sinker in my next book haul, as I am waiting for it. This is like a Schitt's Creek inspired romance. Kind of opposites attracts. I know it's also a fisherman, like, collective series. Like, both of the first books are going to be based on, like, love interest who are fishermen in, like, this little town. I don't know if it's dual perspective. I don't think it is. But that's really all I know, and that it's really steamy and TikTok loves it, so I purchased it. I also love Tessa Bailey, especially with her vampire romance series that she, like, indie published. I also have The Summer Proposal by Vi Keeland. As you can see, a lot of indie books will be hauled. I really am in my era of indie published romances, so that's where we're at. This one is the story of a girl who went on a blind date, and then she, like, started talking with this guy who was not actually her blind date, but he gave her hockey tickets. He's like, if your date doesn't work out, like, we were vibing, so just come join me. Turns out he's actually a hockey player and not just going to the hockey game. And it's like their romance while he is in her area, and I guess they fall in love, and, like, the separation is difficult. I love Vi Keeland, so it's a win. I also got This Might Get Awkward by Karen McDowell. This is like a March 1st release. It just came out, and I don't know too much about it, so I won't go into detail, but this is an auto by author for me, and so I have it. Isn't that wonderful? That's kind of how buying books work. Moving on to 2 ARCs I received. I got One True Loves by Elise Bryant, as well as Love at First Spite by Harper Collins, and both of these sound amazing. This is a companion novel to Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant, and this one is a romance, and honestly, they both sound amazing. I do want to, like, dedicate a reading vlog to reading my ARCs. I'm a little bit behind, so these are definitely going to get read. Again, Mariana Zapata hype. We have From Lukov with Love. This is an ice skating romance, and I'm not sure if it's like dislike to love, but I know that the girl in this book ends up skating with what she calls an arrogant idiot who she's dreamed of pushing in front of a bus. Things change, and I'm guessing that's Lukov. And everybody loves this. They say this is one of Mariana Zapata's best books, so you bet your bottom I'm gonna read it soon. I also have Here's to Us, which is the sequel and I'm guessing like end of the story to What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. If you've been following my channel for years, you would know I loved the first book. I even gave one away. It was a whole thing. And so when I learned that they were coming out with a sequel, I freaked out a little bit. This is also the signed first edition to match my other first edition that was also signed. This is well, I guess it's a love story, but the ending of the first book is kind of sad. Between two boys who meet in New York, and they did not hit it. Well, they had chemistry in the beginning, but they didn't get each other's contact information, and then they try to like make it work, but it's not working, and you know, this is a few years later. We also have Baking Me Crazy by Carla Sorsen, and this is a like falling in love with your best friend story, and I think it's like in a small town. I'm not sure if this doesn't have disability representation as well, and it is dual perspective. Very short, very happy. And I also, as I mentioned, got The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie gifted to me by Amelie for Christmas, so thank you again for that. This, as of the two I've read so far, is definitely my favorite, but I also have The Darkest Temptation to read. This one is pretty chunky as well. Again, mafia romances, that's all. We also have Hate Notes by Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward. This one, I don't remember the premise of, but it was like $10. It's Vi Keelan, Penelope Ward, and I saw someone talk about this on TikTok, I think. And I was like, ooh, what is this? And then I realized it was by Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward, and I didn't even ask myself further questions. So, here we are. I also have The Bride Test by Helen Huang, because if you've been following me since last year, I read The Heart Principle because it was the first book in the Afterlife box, and then I read, what is the first book? The Kiss Quotient. And I was obsessed, and I thought I had The Bride Test already. I didn't. I went into a frenzy. Found a used copy. Here it is. I still need to read it. I know I'm gonna love it, so I'm keeping it for like a moment where I need a pick-me-up. Similarly, I got the Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. This I'm going to use a book bestie to cover its cover if I read it in public, because blue alien smut, borderline weird to read when you're with people. This was $3 on Amazon, and it was cheaper than the Kindle version, and I've been meaning to at least try the first one because everybody's been talking about it. So here we are, ladies and gents. If you want me to make a dedicated vlog to this, let me know. I also have Murder on the Safari Star. I have read the first book, and I own the second book, but I got this one as well because, again, I was planning to read it for Believe-a-thon. Did it happen? No. But these are like adventures on trains. The first one is The Highland Falcon Thief. So there's like a theft that happens on the train. The second one is Kidnap on the California Comet, where there's a kidnap on the California Comet. And this one, there will be a murder on the Safari Star. So we follow Harrison, who goes on trains with his uncle and works on these like the mysteries and murders that happen. It's a great middle grade series. And I also have a Royally Matched by Emma Chase. This is for a specific video idea I have. I don't want to get too much into it, but this is part of a series. And I know Riley from Riley Marie really loves this series, so yeah, it's for video. It should be coming in the next couple of months. I'm very excited. I am extremely sorry for the chaos that is this video, but we're almost done. I also purchased My Cone and Only by Susanna Nix, which is the author of the Starstruck series, which more books are coming out in soon, and she also redid the covers. I'm obsessed with that series, so I decided to try this one. I think it's a best friend's younger sister, and maybe they have to work together as well. This is like the first book in the series, The King's Creamery, and it's all about like these different brothers, I believe, and their romances. I just love Susanna Nix. I think she handles romance mixed with heavier topics extremely well, and I love her writing style, so I decided to try her new series. Similarly, I wanted to try Twisted Love by Anna Huang again because of all the TikTok hype. I don't know if this is like dark or it's just, it sounds dark to me. It says he has a heart of ice, but for her he'd burn the world. And again, it's a best friend sister romance. This is the first in a series as well, so I was planning on doing a vlog maybe with like this book and a few other hyped TikTok romances. Let me know if you're like over these videos or if you would want me to do one myself. And then y'all are gonna hate me because I have Throttled by Lauren Asher, which is the first book in the Dirty Air series, with this cover, right? I liked this cover, but I forgot to look at what the rest of the covers for the series look like, and then I realized this is the only cover I liked. And so then I was like, you know, I'll go look at her like different editions of covers, kind of like she did with the Dreamland series. And turns out I really like them. So now I want a second copy of Throttled to match these editions. Like, I need it because it's not a vibe. But I have Throttled. Then we have Collided, which, look how pretty these books are. We have Wrecked, and then we have Redeemed. These are all Formula 1 romances, and again, Lauren Asher is like my 2022 discovery, and I love Formula 1. I watch it a lot, and I understand it, so having a romance book series dedicated to it. She also has merch on her store, which I'm probably going to want once I've read these books. But yeah, I think I'm just waiting because I want to annotate them. And then if I annotate this and then get a second copy of Throttled, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I am keeping this one because it's gorgeous. It's just the other ones, not as much, you know? I also got As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the third and final book in a Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder last year. Yeah, 1 year ago now, because it was during Becca's 48-hour bookopolython, and I loved it, and so I got the last two books to binge all together. That one is like a YA mystery series with a podcast element. The first one was based off of a cold case where our main character was doing a school project and decided that she wanted to kind of review that case because she doesn't think the right person was convicted, and she digs up a bunch of different secrets and the whole thing unravels. We are down to the final three. I have Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna McGuire. This is the 7th book in the Wayward Children series about... Wow, I can't talk. This series is about children who go to different worlds where they feel they belong most, and for some reason or another they are kicked out of that world and need to readjust themselves to the world we know, and some of them cope better than others. This one follows a different school for these children, and I've heard lots of great things. These are all novella-sized, and if you haven't read the Wayward Children series, I highly recommend it. I'm not a big fantasy reader, but these portal fantasies, chef's kiss. We also have Our Way Back to Always by Nina Moreno. This is friends to strangers to friends to lovers, I believe. I purchased this because I loved Don't Date Rosa Santos, which is by the same author. This is a YA book. I don't read a lot of YA, clearly, but there are a few authors which I will make an exception for. This is definitely one of them. The cover is gorgeous, reminds me of the summertime, love the spine, and I just love Nina Moreno, so it is here. I cannot wait to read it. I'll probably keep it for the summer months, but I wanted to like encourage the author during her debut of, not her debut, but like her first weeks of sale. So, got that. And the final book I want to haul for today is actually Culty by Mariana Zapata. This is my most recent acquisition, and I got this with a random, very random gift card, so I didn't even need to pay for it, which is great. This is a soccer romance. I'm not too sure about the entire premise of this one, but I've seen some quotes and some reviews, and it sounds like one of the books I'm really going to love from Mariana Zapata. I say that about all her books, but it's fine. Her books are very chunky though. This is like 550 pages, so yeah, I'm out of breath. I'm very tired. I hope you guys enjoyed and that this wasn't too chaotic. Let me know if you've hauled some books recently, if you went to the library, and if not, leave me a blue emoji and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys, happy reading.